Hello fellow planet dwellers, Raina here. I thought it would be a really good idea to put together a video for you guys so that you could kind of see what happens at the Toronto Homeless Memorial. It's going on today. The weather people are calling for some thunderstorms, so I'm hoping it's going to hold off. Okay. So here I am with Ducky, aka Michael Mallard.
Well, I pass out memory marbles so that people can, every time they find a marble, they can think of a loved one or somebody in their family that is on the street or in the hospital with cancer or whatever. And so it's a personal thing, and it's, you put it in your pocket. You can remember every time you find it. Oh, there's Uncle Charlie, or there's Granddad, or
right. So a piece of memory that they can have with the marbles.
And then when somebody says you're losing your marbles, you can take them to them and say, "Look, I found them. Look,
I found my marbles." All right, look at all these marbles.
No, it doesn't cost me anything for the marbles because I use the empty beer cans and bottles that I find.
Right. Okay. So this is a gift for everyone that comes to the memorial.
Yes.
I'm Sherman. I'm the priest on staff here at Holy Trinity, and this is the Homeless Memorial. The second Tuesday of every month at noon, we gather together to remember those who have died on the streets as a result of being homeless.
Hi everybody, I just want to, well first of all, actually I want to recognize the Tent City team that's here today. It's a long time ago, but you guys are still working to keep people housed. Okay, actually I want to introduce, just welcome Joe Mahevic, City Councillor, Chair of the Board of Health, and our new Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Davila, who I just met today. And she had a really successful day yesterday at the Board of Health, and we just want to welcome them because, of course, this is the group that is now tracking homeless deaths, and we know that we had pretty shocking results for the first 3 months. We're just really happy that you're here today for our event. Thanks.
I'm very sad to be adding 3 people to the memorial list today. 2 Jane Doe from April, and 1 John Doe.
I promised somebody I would acknowledge one of their losses as well today, even though it happened a long time ago. So a friend of mine named Joyce Carpenter, that may be a familiar name to some of you, she wrote me this morning to ask that we add the name of her 14-year-old daughter to the list. She actually died predating this list, and she's one of the missing and murdered Indigenous women. But as Joyce and I were talking, we realized that another family member, Eddie Carpenter, who was hit by a train, is also not on the list. This is from the 90s. Lucy Carpenter from 2011. And there's an Andrew Carpenter on the list, so it really is kind of an indication of something we've suspected and been worried about for a very, very long time. A disproportionately high number of Indigenous folks that we're losing on the street. So I just want to acknowledge the loss of Patricia for Joyce today, and Joyce is going to join us at a future memorial. Thank you.
You see, shoppers don't like to go and spend money where they see panhandlers in their face, reminding them that their shopping is more important than doing anything about the poverty around them. They prefer not to have to see it, deal with it, know about it. You know about it? Much the same as it's hard for people with a conscience to eat food in front of somebody that's starving.
Okay, the theme for this month is the hazards of healthcare. The chronically housed have a distinct advantage when it comes to the hazards of healthcare. When everything you own is carried with you, a health card is easy to lose or have stolen.
And then there's your medications. If you can get seen by a doctor, there will be co-pays and people interested in helping themselves to your pills for their ills.
But then there are also stories of hope. The ones who found a path out of addiction. The one who had eye surgery and now sees. And those who were treated for cancer in time. All because, unlike some other places in the world, a homeless person here is entitled to health care.
While we grieve the loss of some, we are grateful for those whose lives have been saved.
Thank you.
After this, yeah.
My name is Michael Shapcott, deacon here at Holy Trinity, and each month we gather to remember those who died on the streets and in their memory to recommit ourselves to the struggle for safe, affordable housing. And I wanted to bring forward one additional name of a fellow who died not here in Toronto, but in Washington, D.C., and he wasn't a person who lived on the street, but he was a homeless advocate, Michael Stoops. Some of the gray hairs, Bonnie and Cathy, will remember Michael because we first met Michael back in the early 1990s when he was working as a field organizer with the National Coalition for the Homeless in the United States. And he introduced us to people all across the United States doing what we're doing here today, which is remembering the terrible consequences of the international housing crisis, the international homelessness disaster. And it was through Michael that we connected with all sorts of people. I spent many evenings, Michael and I would visit various cities, and our favorite thing to do at midnight in any city we visited was to wander the streets and talk to people on the streets. Michael was a Quaker. He was one of the most peaceful, quiet, civilized people you'd ever meet, but he was incredibly determined, and towards the end of his life became the executive director of the National Coalition for the Homeless, and served his country well. He served people well, and we remember Michael here today. So two quick things. First of all, thanks again to the City of Toronto folk for the homeless surveillance. The numbers that have come out, sadly, they've confirmed what we've been saying every month, which is that we do our best to identify people who've died, but we aren't able to connect with everybody, and so our numbers undercount. There's actually more homeless deaths than what we are able to report here each month. And that's sad, that's tragic, but it's, again, proof, if you need proof, that the homelessness disaster is deadly and it needs urgent action.
Last week, or the week before, the camp under the Gardner was cleared out by the city again, where a lot of people have built shelters for themselves, and the Bloor, or the Queen and Bathurst community, is seeing almost a death a week. And we're here today, and we celebrate the lives of the people we love and memorialize them. But I'm also getting really fed up because the numbers are here. We know what we need to do. We don't need to do any more studies. We don't need to do any more collection. We know what we need to do, and city officials pay lip service to this issue while they further agendas of gentrification and condo development, and turn a blind eye to the violence of actions like bulldozing homeless camps in the city.
Thank you. My name's Don Weitz. I've been a social justice activist and anti-poverty and homelessness activist for many, many years, as some of you may know, and I'm getting so fed up and pissed off at the excuses from City Hall and Queen's Park and Parliament Hill. And I'm just going to say, first of all, I'm glad that Councillor Joe Mihevik is here today, and I have a message for you, Mr. Mihevik, that the shelters, most of them are overcrowded, over 90%, as you probably know. But we need housing, and we need to see the money. We need to show us the money. It isn't just the money, of course. Show us the housing. And if we had enough affordable housing, our two sisters would be alive today. and there's about 800 people on this list that should be alive. That should be alive. If Toronto, the richest city in Canada, can't provide affordable housing, there's something fundamentally wrong. It's a human rights violation, which is one of the reasons I wrote this rant, Nameless Homeless, 6 years ago. I can't help it, but there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of righteous anger that goes into my writing and into my activism, and I'm not going to stop.